All right, I want to just go over how to edit and make sure the sermon slides are set up correctly for Sunday morning. I've already downloaded the sermon bundle from Planning Center. And so you just go into your downloads folder, click on that. This window is going to pop up, library selection, and you just make sure it's set on sermons. It's going to automatically be set to the last thing that someone picked, so just double check, make sure it says sermons. Click OK. This is going to pop up here. Click apply all, and then choose write over. And that is going to import that sermon and all of the media into ProPresenter. All right, so this week is going to be part 2 of the Ghost of Christmas. So you can click on that. As you can see here, you've got the whole order of service. It's all set up except for the sermon is missing. So you click into here to the library that you just saved that to, and you find it right here. And you click and you drag it into part 2. While we're here, since we're done with time, that series, you can highlight it and then choose delete to get rid of that because we don't need those anymore. All right, then go back here to your playlist and you'll notice the sermon is right here, and you just drag it right up here to bumper, or to right below bumper. That's going to give us all of the slides for Sunday. And we just want to go through and make sure everything is set correctly. So I'm just going to adjust my screen size here. This here, instead of main output, change it to operator 2. This top one shows us what goes out to the webcast, and this shows us what the band will see on the TVs hanging from the balcony. All right, and so very first thing we do, we don't need this counter. We can delete that. This logo is pretty good, but you can see the edges are cut off. And so let's go over here to the smart playlist that we created before, Ghost of Christmas, and that's going to have all of our media for this series in there. And we have Ghost of Christmas logo here. We just click, drag, that looks good. Advent reading, that's another part of the service, so we are going to delete that. And we have that media here, and so we can make sure it is added in the correct spot at the correct part of the service later on. This is a bumper video. We don't need that because it is up here already. Okay. You would want to make sure that it matches. Sometimes the bumpers are different throughout the series, or if it's a brand new series, it's going to definitely be different. I happen to know that that one matches this one, so we can delete that. Motion logo. It's your call on if you're going to use this one or not. Sometimes some people in the congregation find the movement to be distracting, and so we're going to go ahead and delete that one, and we're going to use this one, and it matches better with the bumper video stuff anyhow. Looks like the very first slide of this series or this sermon is going to be a movie clip. And so you're going to right click on it, go to inspector, click right there, and make sure it's set to stop, which it is. Now, what I would want to do, because after this, we don't want to just be sitting at a black screen, and we're not going to click into the Bible verse until the sermon manuscript cues us to do so. So what you want to do is just go ahead and drop another logo right there. That way you have something to click to. You could always click backwards, I know, but I just like everything to be in order. All right, so the images. Nothing's going on lower thirds, that's what we want. The whole thing's going for the stage to see, that's what we want. No lower thirds, stage, that's what we want. So that's what we're looking for now. So now we got the first slide with text. That's going to look good. That's what's going to look on the big screen as well. And that is going to be what they see there. And all of that looks good. All right, so this is not what we want. We want the heading to be up here above the line and the point to be right below the line. And so that is going to be need to be fixed, and we'll circle back to that. Bible verse, that looks good. It's got the 3 dots to kind of let you know that there's more to the Bible verse. Those are 3 dots that we keep. This Bible verse you see here, it's cut off, and so we are going to want to correct that as well. And I'm going to show you how to do all that, but right now I'm just kind of going through to show you what we're looking for. This is on 2 lines. It could fit on 1 line. We'll want to correct that. That needs corrected. The last word here is end. The last word here is end. That one looks good. That would need corrected. So you see what I mean? We're going to be going through all of these slides to make sure that everything is looking like it should. All right, so click on to edit. And the reason it is doing that and putting it all underlined is because it is all one big text box. If we want it to be split up, it needs to be 2 text boxes. So like, for example, on here, 2 text boxes. And the system knows, because of the settings in there, that we want this on the top and we want this below. All right. So we need to fix that. To fix it, we can do a couple things. We can create 2 text boxes to kind of manually put all that in there, or we can go up here, click this little plus sign, and we're going to use the templates that have already been set up for this. So plus sign, you're going to go to sermon, and then sermon has 2 templates within it. One is for scriptures, one is for points. This is a point, so we're going to click that. And that gives us a slide already formatted with the correct text boxes in the correct spot. Then we go back to the original slide, cut by pushing Command X on your keyboard, and then go in here and paste, and that would put it in there. Another option for pasting is you can right click in it and choose paste and match style, and that will retain the black outline and all that. And then you just go back here, Command C or Command X to copy or to cut. Click into there, right click, paste and match style. Now you'll notice this is all cut off, so we're going to need to adjust that. Make sure that everything can fit. You just drag that down. Everything's fitting good. Another thing you're going to check is, because sometimes the return or the enter key is pushed and there's a line break there that's not visible, you just hit delete and then put space. So now if we go back out here, we have the old one, which looks like that, and we have the new one, which looks like that, like it's supposed to. And so we can just go ahead and delete the old one. We said that one was good. All right, and so you see there's a line break here. And so let's go back to edit. And what's causing that is when this slide was made, to break it, probably for spacing reasons, the enter key was hit. And so we need to delete that. And so that way there's just a space and not a return key. Now that might mess with the spacing here where it doesn't look as balanced. And there's different ways to fix that. You know, you play around with it. You can choose to, instead of the center, you can choose this, and that kind of will fill it in, and that looks pretty good. If you didn't like that for some reason, you could just scrunch the size of the text box, or you could stretch the size of the text box, and that will adjust everything accordingly. If you change the size of the text box, you will want to make sure to drag it and make sure everything's centered. And then now if we go back out here, this is how it used to look. Click it again, and oh, we see another break here possibly, and still not fitting on here. And so we're going to go back here to edit. So that break wasn't there. So now what's happening is there's just simply too much text for it to fit onto this lower thirds. And there is a couple different ways you can fix that. One would be to split this into multiple slides. If you ever split anything from one slide to two slides, you want to let Pastor AJ know so he can notate it on his manuscript so he's not surprised by that. The other way to fix it is we can squeeze a little bit more text into here and see how that looks. And so to do that, you right click on the slide, you go to edit actions, lower third, because lower third is what people at home see. They're all self-explanatory, so this is not a song, we don't want that. It's already a sermon, that's not working. Sermon more, and that just means we're going to try to squeeze a little bit more text onto there. And you click on that, and you click it. And so that shrank the text and made it fit in there. That's not something you want to always use, because if you just want to make sure that it doesn't shrink it too much so people can't read it at all. And that looks like it would be readable, so we will go with that. Go to the next one. Again, right here we got two lines. And the two lines are because someone hit the enter key. And so we just go and make sure that there's no enter keys. So that messed up the spacing. So again, you can fix it. You can try this way, see if you like that. If you want it centered, you can do that, and then just kind of change the size of the box and then re-center it there. Thought number two, we already know that's going to be a problem because it's one text box. So you click the plus sign. You're going to go to sermon. That's that template here. And you're going to go to point. That's going to give us the slide with the two text boxes. Command C to copy. And you can either Command V to paste it, or you can right click and choose paste match style. That will retain the style of the template. It looks like this one doesn't have the outline and whatnot, but anyhow, Command C will copy, and as you see, that doesn't fit correctly, so we do need to stretch that out. And if you just stretch it down, that's going to do the job. While we're here, we'll make sure that there's no enter keys, and so we just backspaced or deleted and then hit spacebar. So we might be able to squeeze this all onto two lines. We just stretch out this box just a little bit, and that looks pretty good. Go back out here to see what it looks like. So that's what it used to look like. There's a new one. That's what it now looks like. And so we can go ahead and delete the old one. Click on that Bible verse. That looks good. There's a line break there. So we can go to reflow. We can find it in here and delete the extra line, and that will fix it. So that's one way that's another way to do it. And there we go. That's looking good. You see that one's broken. You see that one's broken. And that one's looking good. Another way to edit text, you can right click on the slide and choose quick edit. And if there was an extra space or something in here, if that was on its own line, you could move it up, and then you just hit this and it will close it out. Alright, so what we have to go ahead and fix these two. So just go back up here to edit, hit your little plus sign, go to point, Command X will cut it. Command C will copy. You click on your new slide, click on that top text box, right click, paste and match style. Command C will copy. Click on that, click in the box, right click, paste and match style. Again, it's not fitting, but we can drag that, make it a little bit bigger. And then while we're here, we make sure there's no extra enter keys pressed. If we want to retain that, you just, there we go. And now go back out here. Here's the old one. Here's the new one. So we go ahead and delete that. We're going to do the same thing with the bottom line. Your plus button, point. It's going to give us the two text boxes, and then we just copy, paste and match style, copy, paste and match style, and that one's all messed up. So let's drag, make it bigger. So part of that might be because we matched style, but we got some extra text box, some enter key hits in there. So just go at the front of each line, delete, put a space, delete, put a space. Maybe we might want to make this text slightly smaller to make it all fit correctly. So we're going to click on the text box so that way it has, you see all the handles, and then that will let you make edits to the whole box at once. So now if you change bold or not bold, it will change the whole thing. If you want to just change one thing within it, you could highlight it, but we want to change the size of everything. So click in there, and we're just going to scale that down just a little bit. All right, and then here's the old one. There's the new one. And then that one is looking good as well. So then we check this picture here. You see this picture, it's sending out lower thirds. We don't want to do that. So we're going to edit that. We're going to right click, and we're going to go to add action, and we're going to go to audience look, and we're going to go to no lower thirds. Okay. If there was already a command on there, if I already had a mustache face, you'd go to edit actions and choose it that way. There have been a few cases where, like on the scripture passage, and I don't have an example of that this week, but where for some reason, like, it was not the correct sizing as is set up in the template. Maybe ProPresenter has fixed that issue, but we were having an issue like where this passage would look fine here, but like this text here would be super big. If you run into that, you just go into edit and you create you a new template slide here, and then just copy and paste just like we did with those others, but with the scripture passage. That will fix it there. Another thing that's been popping up with the sermons is it gives you this little yellow box, and that's just a resolution thing, and you just want to change it out here to the 1920 by 1080. That will get rid of that. And then the very last thing is you want to make sure the lighting or the macros are set for this. Oh wait, I just noticed something. We have lower third line here, so we want to fix that. Add action, audience look. Again, they're all pretty self-explanatory. It's not a song. It is a sermon, but we don't want that there, and we don't want more. We want nothing, right? And it's not an announcement. So they're all hopefully pretty self-explanatory on there. All right, so now the macros. They're found over here. If you don't see them, you just click on the M, And you have this one here. It says sermon. You just drag it right up onto that. This is going to be a video playing. We want the lights to go out, so we're going to hit the bumper. And then we want the lights to change again, so we hit the sermon again. Okay, so lights are up, lights go off, lights go on. Macros control other things too, but the most important of all those is probably the lights.